Why kick off today with only one speaker when you can have 6? Yeah, let's do this. Now, they have been strictly told 5 minutes each. So there might be a buzzer if they go too long because we've got to get them through. You've got stuff to do today. Here's the thing when it comes to manufacturing. It is all meaningless if you don't have the people and if your people don't have the skills. And it's a big issue for many of us at this time. So this session is loaded with multiple ideas on how we can train, develop, recruit, get better staffing and improve the staffing that we have. So let's get on to it. Our first session is from Training and Workforce Development Support Options available for the New South Wales Manufacturing Centre, presented by Workforce Development Training Services, New South Wales Government. So here is Stacey Bales and Claire McGregor to entertain, educate and enthrall us. Give them a huge round of applause. Here they are, yeah!
Welcome everyone. Got to speak a little bit louder. Welcome everyone and thank you for attending today's session focused on skills and workforce development challenges facing manufacturers. We have some great speakers joining us today to provide an overview of training opportunities available and showcase how bespoke training solutions are addressing the ever-evolving needs of manufacturing sector. I'm Stacey Bales, Manager of Workforce Development and a part of the Department of Education Training Services, New South Wales. I'd also like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and also Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander colleagues joining us today. Joining me to present today is my colleague, Claire McGregor, Senior Project Officer who leads manufacturing for our Workforce Development team, David Martin from AI Group, Annette Doherty from University of Technology Sydney, Laura Mabiakafola, did I get that right? Yes, from a Skills Lab training organisation, and Peter Schreiner from TAFE New South Wales.
Really close. We'll move this to one side and bend that a little bit.
Okay. These speakers and their teams have been integral to the success in achieving our mission to provide skills and workforce solutions for manufacturing industry over the past few years. Their dedication and commitment is demonstrated in the success of the programs that will be presented here today. Our workforce development team was created as a part of the skilling response in 2020, a part of the Training Services New South Wales Skilling for Recovery initiative, on the back of the bushfires and in response to COVID. The workforce development team support Investment New South Wales client and works with large multi-regional employers and investors in New South Wales to develop and deliver targeted training and workforce development solutions for key priority sectors. We implement industry sector strategies and support New South Wales employers to attract talent, set up workforces and retain people in their jobs and provide them with the skills they need for businesses to succeed. We do this by providing a concierge type service to employers through vocational education and training, and fund the development of programs to satisfy the workforce development needs. We also provide connections and develop partnerships with schools, universities and training providers. Manufacturing has been a key priority sector for our team since inception, and we have met with many manufacturing companies across New South Wales who at the time have been telling us that workforce was a key issue, that retaining staff was difficult and attracting staff was harder, and skill shortages remains an issue for the sector. A lot of these businesses wanted to embrace technology and automation and create efficiencies within their businesses. They were eager to adopt Industry 4.0 advanced technologies, but communicating to us that they were stuck in Industry 3 and needed help to build awareness of the opportunities available to them. They also needed skilled staff and they were required to help them implement process and adopt within their businesses to start their journey and transition to Industry 4.0. So in response to this, the Workforce Development team in partnership with Investment New South Wales, my colleagues here today, and through industry consultation, we designed a series of programs and funded a digital skills response for New South Wales that would assist businesses to embrace the Industry 4 journey and develop their competitive advantage in New South Wales. On that note, I'd like to hand it over to Claire McGregor to provide more detail about these particular programs.
Thank you, Stacey. So today we're here largely to talk about the Driving Digital Skills Program and Driving Sustainable Advanced Manufacturing Skills Program. They're sister programs that we have developed in partnership with these lovely people today. So the Driving Digital Skills Program, we've undertaken a holistic approach to workforce development. And the way in which the program is run is that businesses come in and undertake the Future Map diagnostic tool, something that Annette and David will continue to talk more about later today. So the businesses come in and it actually maps their journey to Industry 4.0 or to net zero, depending which program that you're undertaking. And then as part of that, it develops a strategic plan or helps inform the business of the areas that they need to improve in and the areas that they can develop in to reach those targets. And then after that, we have actually funded a skills program where there are micro-credentials sitting underneath this program that businesses can opt in and out of depending on the areas that they're wanting to focus on, and their existing workers can be upskilled across a range of different accredited units of competency. So based on industry feedback, rather than forcing everybody through a particular skill set, we're allowing people to opt in, opt out based on the specific business's needs, because we all know manufacturing businesses are incredibly different. So we're trying to facilitate that easier transition to Industry 4.0 in terms of the Driving Digital Skills program. And then more recently, we've just launched the Driving Sustainable Advanced Manufacturing program. On the back of all the climate impact reporting that is coming down the line, where businesses are going to have to start reporting on their scope 1, 2 and 3 carbon emissions, we're introducing a program that is really simple in terms of introducing ESG, providing some basic information around tracking and tracing your carbon accounting, as well as some determining your energy usage skill sets. So in partnership with the training providers that we have here today, they can go into further detail about what that means for your business. But essentially, these are the two programs that we've been running for the last few years, trying to assist New South Wales manufacturers in those two journeys. So on that note, I'm going to hand over to David Martin, who's going to talk a little bit more about the Future Map tool and the net zero focus. Thank you.
Good morning, whoa, okay. I was told to keep my voice up, and I certainly am doing that, so hopefully you should be able to hear me. So my name is David Martin. I am Australian Industry Group's Director of Emerging Industries and Innovation. I basically, if you don't know about Australian Industry Group, we're an industry association that's been around for 150 years and represents the interests of over 60,000 companies nationally, from everything from workplace relations to emerging industries, which I look about, which is more about how might we assist industry to emerge from their existing business models through to something that's more sustainable in the future. In the last year or two, a key part of the innovation and manufacturing landscape came to an end, which was the Innovative Manufacturing CRC. As part of that, Australian Industry Group was asked to look after the intellectual property of a program or diagnostic platform called Future Map. Future Map is a fantastic platform because it allows industry to undertake over 2 to 3 hours a workshop that either assists them in understanding where they are on their Industry 4.0 journey or where they are on their net zero journey, and basically where they would like to be in 2 years' time, some key reading and resources that will help them move forward. The amazing Annette from UTS will be talking about that in more detail as she is leading one of these workshops here on Friday. So it's a fantastic thing. You get a nice simple report that shows where you are to where you need to be in the future. So why is skills really important in the current environment? So speaking with our members in industry, these are the critical challenges that we find that manufacturers in New South Wales in particular are faced with. It's very much about people being weary post-COVID. There's a lot of red, green and grey tape, and I'll talk a little bit about what grey tape is later because this applies to the net zero discussion, energy prices, etc., etc. What I have loved today actually is the level of positivity that I've actually seen here amongst manufacturers regardless of these challenges. But it's an acknowledgement this is what's on the mind of leadership when it comes to the here and now. And in many cases, that means they're focusing on their businesses in the day-to-day rather than thinking about what's happening ahead. And this is what's happening ahead. Net zero is going to provide some significant supply chain pressures. You would have seen over the last day or so some people saying you should be aware of this. Sustainability is the future. It's actually a little bit more full on than that. So here is actually a key thing from what's called the Climate Leaders Coalition. I've got a thing up there that is actually highlighted. So these are some of the biggest companies in Australia who absolutely will be reporting their carbon emissions moving forward. And they are saying we will work with our suppliers and customers to encourage them to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. It's actually a little bit more involved than that. Many of them openly said in our workshops when we've had them as guests, you will be providing us your carbon emissions, it will be done digitally, and it will be coming into our ERP systems. And that is not in the future, that is very, very soon. And this also ties in with the industry sentiments that we've seen out here. So there is an awareness, this is actually some research we've done with our most recent members, and this is about the fact that even with all these challenges, manufacturers are very much aware that there is still growth potentials and they're looking to technology and innovation to go ahead. There is significant levels of uncertainty with regards to the levels of green-grey regulation, how they're going to fit into a net zero world, and what we call the 3 Ds, decarbonisation, digitalisation, and the need to diversify your business model. We also find those people who are ready to actually get their business models ready to go and change are actually going to be better positioned moving forward. So what has this all got to do with basically skills and stuff? So fundamentally, there is no decarbonisation without digitalisation. There is no digitalisation without business model transformation. And what we actually find is that there needs to be 3 levels of training provided to organisations that are going on that journey. And this has come very clearly out of the workshops. The first needs to be focused at the board and executive level to make sure that they feel confident that the strategic decisions their business going on are going to be right for them and they're going to be a going concern in the future. The second is in the middle management, who actually have responsibility for execution about bringing in new technologies and ways of doing things. And the third are the people on the shop floor who are terrified that the robots are going to take my jobs, rather than understanding that they're going to hopefully keep their jobs because the organisation is going to be productive moving forward. They'll actually be there in complementarity. So conscious that many people will want to know what changes of business models and opportunities look like, I wanted to share this website that actually is now owned by Australian Industry Group. It is actually in the process of being rebadged. But that was actually put together by ARENA, the Queensland Government and AI Group, and it actually has a whole range of free case studies that explains people how they've taken on technologies, changed their business. It teaches you how to read your power bills. It teaches you all sorts of really useful things, and it's absolutely for free. So we like people to look at that. Next time you see it, it's probably going to be Future Map rebadged. So the last 2 things I really want to go through is I keep coming back to the need to focus on your business model. And I keep saying this because key purchases around digital technologies and what you see here today, and the need to actually get hard data that is necessary for carbon reporting moving forward, is really reliant on you asking about who you are, where you need to be in the next 3 years. And as I said, it all is about these 3 areas and getting sufficient skills, which the amazing people over here will go into more detail. And we are looking to hopefully run some more net zero workshops with the assistance of the amazing New South Wales Government funding them in the future, and we'd love to see you there. I'd like to now hand over to the amazing Annette from UTS, who will actually take you through in more detail what the digital aspects of Future Map are, some of the key learnings, and how it's going to help you and your business.
Thanks, David. So, good morning, everybody. So, my name is Annette Doherty. I'm the program lead. Okay, I need to step really close because it's going to hit me in the face, isn't it? Okay, so I'm the program lead for SME engagement at UTS. It's a relatively new program. I'm in my 3rd year at UTS, but my background is actually industry, mainly business marketing from a technology perspective. So my job is to actually make it easier for SMEs, manufacturers in particular, so under 200 staff, to access and navigate all of the resources available across UTS, but also across an ecosystem of partners that I work with, so that we can help you to innovate, use smart technologies, and just move towards more modern manufacturing. One of the ways that we do this is in partnership with Investment New South Wales and New South Wales Training Services to deliver workshops that utilise the Future Map self-diagnostic tool. The tool takes you through these 4 topical areas. You first answer questions based on your current state, and then you answer those same questions based on where you aspire to be in 2 years. And on completion, you get a 2-year strategic roadmap. The idea is, as business leaders, once you know where you're going, you can then tap into available resources, training programs to upskill your workforce to get you there. And then by engaging with somebody like myself, I will come out, visit factories, have a consultation, talk through your action plan and try and work out, what resources can you utilize to help you implement that action plan. One of the things we also do at this workshop is we look to try and demystify the technologies that are referred to as Industry 4. So, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, augmented and virtual reality, robots, cobots, etc., and use case studies so that you can hopefully get a better idea of how you might implement those in your own organization. The report you get, one of the things it will give you is this, I call this a spider chart, which overlays your current status with your 2-year aspirations, and the report will also then give you a list of technologies to explore and a list of priority actions, and it's an ongoing resource. It's a portal that has a lot of information that is curated to the results of your assessment that will help you learn a bit more about those technologies and those strategies that you can think about implementing. One of the things that we do during all of our engagements is collect feedback from industry so that we can track and measure how we're going and make adjustments along the way. Over 1,000 future map reports in digital transformation have been delivered, and about a quarter of them have come through SME at UTS. 97% of the businesses recommend this to other business leaders, and 59% have told us that it does help them to accelerate the implementation of Industry 4 technologies. I'm hoping to bring more of these future map workshops to manufacturers. If you ever get an invite to one, I really recommend you attend, or if you want to connect with me later, I can let you know when the next ones are taking place. We do have one tomorrow morning, but we're actually at capacity, unfortunately, already. Other information that industry tells us at these workshops is when I ask them, what do they need to accelerate their adoption of Industry 4 technologies, they tell us that they need strategy, money, and knowledge. I'm interested to see if that resonates with anybody here in the audience. So when you think about accelerating the use of technology in your business, are they the 3 things that you need to do that? Hands up if that resonates with you. Do you need strategy? Yep. Money, knowledge? Yeah, thought so. One of the other things we do at the workshop is a few live polls to try and get some conversation going. And when asked what their top 3 challenges were, these are the results. So they tell me, it's workforce training and skills, it's systems integration, and it's material supply. And the good news is we can help you with the first 2. I can't really help you with the last one, unfortunately. When we talk about systems integration, let me give you an example. One of the companies that I've been helping out at Ingleburn, called the Brian Cummings Group, they had, like most of SMEs, lots of different systems, disparate data sets, no true north with regards to their customer data. So they worked with a team of students, I think it was quite a lot of students. They got 2 teams in the end, but 8 students from our Faculty of Engineering and IT, so software students, but also with a little bit of business student input as well. And they developed a solution that connected some of those disparate systems together and also introduced the use of some generative AI. Now, before the students even did their final presentation, Simon from BCG told me that they'd already implemented it, and it was saving 6 sales staff 4 hours a week. I think that's a pretty good return on investment. And so having teams of students working on your projects is a really low-cost, low-risk way to experiment with your project ideas, but also might be your first interaction with the university. Because I know a lot of the businesses that I've been out and consulted to don't even think to look to a university to help them. But there is actually quite a lot that we can do. So I think, strategy and having the right workforce are fundamental foundations to innovation and successful use and implementation of smart technologies. And by leveraging university expertise and student talent, we can help you get there, and we can help you find the low-hanging fruit, the easy opportunities that will deliver value. Right now, we are seeking expressions of interest for one of our student work-integrated learning programs called Optic Consultancy, where you will get a team of students working on your project for 12 weeks, full-time, as if they were in the real workforce. If you think you've got a project that you'd like us to consider for a team of students to work on, please reach out to me so I can send you the information. And we have a really basic expression of interest form where you can just kind of outline the idea for your project. And then these teams are mentored by professionals and academics, and they'll talk to you, work out the scope, and then we can proceed from there. So far, I've put 24 projects through our teams of students, and every single one has been successful and has delivered value to SMEs. I think it's a really great way to enter into a relationship with the university. So you might be surprised to know that there are a lot of different things that the university can offer. It's not just large-scale, big-budget R&D. We've got a lot of facilities. I organise a lot of tours of our facilities, particularly out at Tech Lab, which is 18,500 square metres, and a very big focus on advanced manufacturing, defence and space. We have a team of professional software engineers at Rapido. We have a lot of different programs that bring groups of students together, and of course, we always encourage taking students on as an internship. There's a plethora of things that UTS can offer, but also other universities can offer. And I can connect you not just into UTS, but also into other universities that I partner with as well. So just to finish, I encourage you, connect with me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I've got a few business cards in my pocket if you want to come and talk to me later. Thanks. The lovely Laura from Skills Lab.
Hi everyone, I'm happy to introduce myself, Annette, so no problem at all. Hi everyone, I'm Laura, I'm the Executive General Manager with Skills Lab. It's been an absolute privilege to be partnering with a number of the people on the panel for a few years now, which has been fantastic. But the part that we play in this is that we are training organisation that has been born from industry to deliver the skills for industry. So Skills Lab is a registered training organisation. It's wholly owned by Sage Group of Companies, which is an industrial automation and control digitalisation business. We do have a manufacturing operation as part of our group. So we live and breathe it, we're part of it, we're walking through different projects, we're doing our own transformation as we're supporting industry doing this as well. I think what's key to the focus that we bring to this is that everything that we do is informed by our partners as well, by our own industry, and we collaborate with industry, education, government to ensure that we're designing programs that are current and are meeting the needs of emerging industry as well. So the focus is it has to be real, relevant and able to be applied. And that's really what's key to a number of aspects that we focus on. We also love partnering with Training Services New South Wales and Investment New South Wales. Have loved being keenly involved in the design and delivery of the Driving Digital Skills program as well, which has been talked about with Claire and Stacey earlier. So we know that skills is a key focus. You've heard that highlighted through the discovery, through the future map. Stacey and Claire both talked about it as well. David's highlighted the importance of looking at that and what is taking place. We're very mindful that everyone's conscious of needing the skills to be able to deliver and redesign things for our organisations going into the future. We're all conscious of change taking place, but that need is more prevalent now than ever. Do we have the people that not only have the technical capability, but they've got the ability to identify what could be done differently? That entrepreneurial thinking, complex problem solving, innovative approaches that can say, I think we can do this better. A great example that Annette shared before on two different data points that weren't talking to one another. They didn't have that systems integration. Being able to look at that and say, there's more that could be done here. We've got different data sets. We've got different ideas that could emerge out of that. But what do we do? And so many of the organisations that we speak to say, we really struggle with what's the next or what's the next step to take. What is the why? Why are we trying to solve this problem? What could we do with it? We know we've got data. What do we do? And so we've designed a number of different programs and micro-credentials supporting organisations to build the skills needed to be able to discover that. A key part of that is Industry 4. You've heard that talked about many times through this morning, which is a term that we're very familiar with. Can I just ask, are people familiar with the term Industry 4? Lots of nods across the crowd, which is fantastic. It's been called a range of different things. It's been called industrial digitalisation. It's a revolution that's taking place. But essentially, Industry 4, it's the fourth industrial revolution that we're experiencing. And it's not just about the fantastic automation, new tech that we're seeing, but it's the interoperability of all of that. And key to that is looking at just some of these pictures that you'll see around the screen, and Annette highlighted it as well. It's the ability to understand these tools are available, but how we actually bring that together to solve a problem or optimise an opportunity is what's key. So we've designed a micro-credential which is working in Industry 4, and we get organisations to start with thinking about what's a problem that I could find, a bottleneck or an opportunity, and how could I leverage one of the potential tools, one of the pillars, to be able to address this need. So it's very practical. It delves into a requirement within the organisation, and it takes through, with guidance, a number of steps to be able to present back a solution for their organisation. And we've seen multiple examples of these projects that people have worked on be implemented and have had fantastic results. Sometimes when we think about Industry 4, we think it's all in, all organisational change, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be a process or something within one department. So there's so many different solutions that can be leveraged, and as people go through that, they really discover that with something quite tangible as a result. The other key one that we are working on now is ESG. It's been highlighted, the requirement to report back Scope 1, 2 and 3. And I think for a lot of organisations, there's a lot of fear associated with that. What do we do? How are we going to report back? What are the next steps to take? Scope 1 and 2 might be okay, but then when you start delving into Scope 3, that can become quite daunting as it extends to the whole supply chain. So what we've done is we've designed an accredited micro-credential, which is all about enacting sustainability in this space. So environmental, sustainability and governance. What is one implementable change that your organisation could do to advance in this sector, to advance in this space? And to that end, what we've done is we've designed a 40-hour micro-credential. It's not delivered as a one-week block, it's delivered over a period. Some self-paced, some workshop facilitated. But essentially, you'll walk out of that micro-credential with an implementation plan, with an understanding of the value chain, and a readily implementable change that you can actually see enacted in your organisation in some form. And as it was highlighted before, there's multiple levels that need to address change for organisations. This can be implemented across different levels as well. So on that note, I'm conscious that you need to come up, Peter, so thank you. And if anyone has any questions about the micro-credentials, would love to speak with you after. Thanks, Peter.
Hi, everyone. So I want to speak today about pathways to engineering and manufacturing degrees, programs. So one of the important things at the moment is around attracting a workforce, and industry is really struggling with getting enough people into job roles, mainly in manufacturing and engineering. And part of this is also to articulate the pathways into those. So we are running some Certificate 2 programs and also the trades, but a really important part are the next stages of an apprenticeship. So your technician level studies and also some of those things beyond that. I recently heard a statistic that apprentices who leave the workplace, who don't finish their apprenticeship, is governed by the apprentice leaving. So 80% of non-completions in apprenticeship is by the apprentice deciding they don't want to continue. So I think part of that is really around articulating what that pathway could be for apprentices and where they can go into, that it is a career. And the train station map is just really a way of showing it's a journey. Part of that attraction strategy is also around new technologies. So recently we acquired some technologies in augmented reality, virtual reality, assistive technology, and also robotic technology. So it's showing the trajectory of trade skills going through automation. And the important point is that using these technologies requires still a lot of knowledge within the welding process. So having a good understanding of whatever your technology is important for being able to successfully automate that. From an environmental sustainability perspective, we run an undergraduate diploma at TAFE New South Wales in renewable energy engineering, and it's a fully nested course that's got single subject micro-credentials, 4 of which of the 5 that are articulated there go into an undergraduate certificate, and the same 4 go into a diploma. It is an undergraduate certificate, so it's not the units of competence, but we've run quite a few students through that. I'm based in the Hunter, but I represent New South Wales, and there's a lot of interest in the Hunter around that transition to energy. And finally, we do run quite a lot of micro-credentials in a number of areas, especially around cybersecurity and computing. And we've just launched a few, probably only in the last day or so, around environmental sustainability, so around renewable energy zones and those things. So I'm happy to share those on LinkedIn if you're connected with me, and I think that's about time.